Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. My Deadlights.
Pod! Welcome to the Deadlights podcast. I'm your host, Sam Johnston.
And I am your host, Leslie, bringing you your daily dose of horror, everybody.
Yeah, man.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Season 2, and this is actually the first episode of Season 2 with just us.
Just us.
Just us.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I like these episodes.
Yeah.
A little better.
I like our guests.
Love them.
Love them. Love you. But yeah, especially for like a movie like this, where the whole time we were just like, what?
A fun time when we both haven't seen the movie. And
yes.
What did we just watch?
What the fuck did we watch?
We watched Black Bear from 2020, written and directed by Lawrence Michael Levine.
Mm-hmm.
A filmmaker at a creative impasse seeks solace from her tumultuous past at a rural retreat, only to find that the woods summon her inner demon in intense and surprising ways. I was surprised.
I was very surprised.
So, I just said it. We went into it. Neither of us has seen this movie.
No.
I did watch the trailer, and I gotta say the trailer really did not reveal anything about what this movie was.
No, and I think I also saw the trailer when it first was coming out, and I had a different perspective of what it was gonna be. I didn't know.
This movie truly is a movie about perspectives.
Yeah.
And not only is the content that the filmmakers are talking about is perspectives that we have in relationships, but also the perspectives of the film changes in the middle.
Yes.
It's hard switch.
And it really goes to kind of as the audience, when you are being given lots of information or little information to create these very narrow viewpoints of a situation, you start speculating. You're doing all your thinking that you've had to do, and then I don't know. It's just like things can be given to you outwardly and also behind the scenes and kind of make it convoluted, and I don't know. It just makes me doubt everything. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything's up in the air.
What are people's real motivations? And in the movie, we were trying to figure that out. And I think that that's something that people struggle with in relationships. And another big thing in this in this movie is relationships.
Relationships.
Toxic relationships, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And how the perspective of each person within a relationship is very different, and how people can interpret small, nothing things into big, monumental things, and how the perspective of a situation can really determine how you react to the situation.
Actions, words, phrases, little just like or whatever. If you're in a relationship and you're either within months or years, you're gonna start noticing little ticks and whatever your person does. And they're going to notice that about you too. Even in friendships, I wouldn't just like relate this to just relationships, but just in general, human connection. It is down to the smallest little, like little action that you do. And you're just like, what the fuck was that?
Well, especially if you've known the person for so long, because you feel like you know that person really well.
You have a read of who they are.
And then when they do something that is off or different, or maybe they don't do that, but you think that something that they're doing is different, that also can determine how big your reaction is too. And we saw in this movie how very small things, very subtle things that this movie does, things that aren't being said, how those small things can really blow up into crazy situations.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's
huh?
get into it
talk about
because
Black
I have
Bear.
a lot to say.
All right, let's start with the can. How this thing is
Mhm.
actually made. I think definitely one of the strong points. The first half of this movie feels like a really tense thriller. I'm the whole time trying to figure out what's going to happen. They're building this suspense between these characters, and it's all really about infidelity and just like the people getting in between other people and getting in each other's manipulation, gender roles.
Yes.
And it feels like it's building to something, and it actually does come to a head. And then suddenly in the middle of the film, that climax happens and we cut to black, and then we essentially start over, and we're watching them make the movie almost
in the
that
same
we just
spot.
saw in the same spot. So it becomes then a movie about people making a movie, and then it becomes about the relationships behind the scenes too. What are the things that happened in this person's life that actually led them to make the film that we saw in the first half, essentially?
They were using phrases within the script that we heard in the first part.
There's a lot of mirroring that was going on between the first half and the second half, not only with phrases that they were saying, colors, tableaus. We saw her sitting at the dock at least 3 times in the same exact shot. And so these were clues to us that these are repeating situations that these people find themselves in. Kind of relating back to these toxic relationships people usually find themselves in repeatedly. And they use the actual cinematography and production design to repeat the situations as well. It's really just a smart film overall. A lot of red.
Yeah. Well, like red signifies so much. It signifies bloodshedding. So like death. It's also passion for fire, you know, and it's she's wearing red when she's on the dock, when she goes and swims. And it's a way that she seduces, you know. And it's the way that Blair also, she was wearing the red top, and it was a way that she got Bear to kind of follow her in the same spot. And it's like, which one came first?
Yeah.
Because everything is mirroring, and it's like, okay, let's say both of them, the film happened first, and then what we saw first was the second part. But it's still like, are they marrying each other just because those are the words that are used within a toxic relationship? You know?
Well, I think that's part of what this film is talking about is art imitates life, or does life imitate art?
Ooh.
So it's this. And
answer that, audience.
I don't think it matters actually which part came first.
I don't know. I'm so fucked up. This movie fucked my brain. It was so well acted. Is acting in the can?
Yes, that's what I was about to actually bring up.
Wow.
Because this movie is... I mean, I wouldn't call this movie a horror movie. I would call it a thriller. It's psychological thriller, for sure. And I think that relies so heavily on the performances of the actors because... especially in a movie that's about relationships, so much is about what isn't said. And my God, these three main actors are just fucking nailing it.
To be able to like switch around and then be, well, like, I mean, not really. They didn't switch much.
They didn't. They were all...
No, they were the same person.
All the same people.
Their characters, in the film were the opposite, but that's it. Like, they were still acting.
The archetypes were the same, though, because in the end,
there you go. Yeah,
Aubrey Plaza was the other girl in the second. So there, we still had the same players essentially in the first half and the second half. It was just different people essentially than what we thought. But yeah, you're right. They didn't change much. We have Aubrey Plaza, who's a very, kind of self-loathing filmmaker, artsy kind of, oh, I hate compliments. You're so pretty.
Yeah.
You're,
Stop it.
don't give me a compliment.
Wow.
Yeah. And we have the kind of typical misogynist asshole, Gabe. And then we also have Blair, who's not his wife, but is pregnant with his baby. And I think she's just kind of holding on to hope that everything's going to work out between the two of them.
It's just gotten to the point where it seemed like they were not a great fit. They both had different kind of goals in mind in life.
It wasn't going well before Aubrey
No.
Plaza showed up.
And
his name is Allison.
And yeah, their relationship was only being held because they're about to have a baby.
Yes.
And that is what's keeping them. And, some people feel like they have to in those kind of situations. Because you're creating a life together now more than ever.
Well, he even says in one scene, when he's confiding in Allison about how he doesn't love Blair. He's like, I don't love her. And then like the getting pregnant was an accident, and now we're bringing a person into the world, and he's almost like talking himself into like, holy shit, the fucked up situation I have found myself in. And realizing, oh my God, what have I done? What the fuck have I done?
It's just so fucked up. Everyone, all those three people are so toxic.
Yes.
Each triangle is so toxic. And there was just some hard scenes in this where they gave you no levity of just having a break in between arguments, and they were real. They were seeing, I mean, I was able to put myself in the scene because I feel like I've said those things before, and those things were said to me.
Or been in front of people that are saying those things together.
Really?
Too. It's
You've
like,
been in? Because, they find themselves getting into arguments, and Aubrey Plaza's character, Allison, does really nothing. She instigates.
She's an instigator.
She's instigating.
Absolutely instigating.
And it's all to just draw responses and get them to a point where they're not talking to each other. Or they continue on trying to please, the guest in their home.
Yeah.
And it's,
because everything that he says, she corrects, and everything that he says, she contradicts. So it's every line that they're saying, the other one is just like jumping on top of it, and just like it gets like so uncomfortable. But you can tell that Allison is fucking loving it. And like they're just like giving her all the fuel that she needs to drive a wedge even harder between them. And she's such a schemer, and it's such a, because you're right, and thinking about the characters, this is why this movie is actually so well written, is in the second part, when we're thinking about it, Gabe is the same person in the first and second part. The dude is the same in the toxic, manipulative, that's all he's doing the whole time. Aubrey Plaza, Allison, becomes Blair because she thinks that something is going on between her husband and the other actress in the movie, who is Blair.
Yeah.
And she's actually in Aubrey Plaza because she's being participating in the manipulating too. She's doing it for the movie. She's putting these ideas
big ass air quotes, doing it for the movie. No, she's doing it to suck his dick.
Yeah.
I think you're
a great filmmaker.
I think the movie it went well.
You made a great
and
movie.
she knows. She knows how awful he is.
Mhm.
But she wants him even more.
It's not about him though. It's about getting that manipulative part out and like being able to control
She no longer
Aubrey
wants to be the
Plaza.
side character. She wants to be the main
Mhm,
character.
mhm.
And she doesn't care how she gets there.
Which is exactly what Aubrey Plaza is doing in the beginning.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
the it's does such a good job of like we've already talked about mirroring the first
Mhm.
two the two halves of the movie. It's just very well done. But what's all this stuff talking about? Let's get to the meat of it.
Le meat.
Le meat.
Le meat.
What are we actually talking about here? I mean, we kind of mentioned it. Toxic relationships for sure is a big
Yes.
theme.
I think we're talking about how, I mean, they did say it for a scene about gender roles and just like having women be slaves. And that's essentially what, our role as women were when we didn't have an independence. I lost the track. When we didn't have independence and we were just at home,
Mm-hmm. Housewives, 1950s style.
being a mother,
Yeah.
cooking, and that's all that life was. If you went outside, it was because you went grocery shopping or tending to the plants. But like, I think the way that this movie had women competing against each other and needed to be the most attractive, the most loved in the room is honestly what society has put in our brains. And I think now we've realized that, and as society and as women, I mean, we're trying to correct that and not have and just be friends with women and have each other's support.
I think that's an interesting. Then putting on top of that, this idea of making a film with all of that like underneath and within the fibers of the relationships that like the filmmakers are having between each other and what the story is that they're making is about essentially. And so we're taking all of that and then almost like filming it. And like, is that like then devaluing that kind of thing because we're putting it on film and trying to capitalize off of like someone's pain? Like they like manipulated Allison into thinking that she was getting cheated on and like destroyed her,
and at the end she was,
exactly. And she was a destroyed person. And they did that for art. Yeah.
And like the whole crew knew how toxic Bear was. Absolutely. Like he would yell at her face to get emotions and scenes out that were phenomenal, that he was like, when he was holding the camera, he was like reacting, as if like, God, I've created something fantastic. And here's Aubrey Plaza fucked up. She had drank 2 bottles of whatever. Like one was whiskey, the other one was also whiskey. I'm not sure, but she was like 2 bottles in and she was still like needing to do her job. And like everybody was like, give her some time, and he was like, no, it has to happen now because we got her in like the place that we needed her to be.
It's for the movie. We got it. I mean, that was his plan the whole time.
That was the plan the
mind
whole
games
time
that he was playing. And then God, like the one scene that was like one of the most heartbreaking scenes, which kind of goes to what you're talking about, is at the end as she breaks down and it's clearly like this weird blurred reality movie moment where the character of Allison is breaking down because she thinks that Bear cheated on her, and then they cut and then everyone has to hold for room tone and everyone just has to sit there
because the director is holding her. Her husband is holding her while she is having a full-blown breakdown.
And everyone is literally standing around doing nothing. Bystanders.
Yeah.
Everybody. Everyone on the set. Just a bunch of bystanders. Which goes back to this idea of the camera. This thing that is
That we
watching.
talked so much in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a bystander. We're watching these things and enjoying the pain that these people are going through.
Because they
as
partied
art.
right afterwards.
Oh yeah, they unleash
Everyone had
afterwards.
their little love triangle or their love interest within the crew, you know. And they forgot all about the fact that their main actress had broken down. This abusive
cared.
relationship is being displayed in front of them.
Mhm.
And
for the camera.
yeah.
you just
Do
show it
I
all.
want to be an actress?
I don't know.
Do I want to
Well,
direct anything?
Don't take any jobs from Bear. All right.
No, not at all.
No jobs from Bear.
Scout's
please.
honor.
God no. Oof.
Absolutely no.
No.
You don't take any. You might just get manipulated and become a Blair.
No, he's great. Okay, he's great. He's not what you
No,
think.
no,
He's
Sam.
not what
no,
you think.
No.
Bear's really cool.
Don't go to the
I
bear.
love his filmmaker hat. He's so cool.
It's not even placed on his head.
It's
right?
barely on his head.
It's
It's barely on there. He's incredible. All right, you'll learn.
oh
All
God.
right, so yeah, that was the meat. But how's the meat actually cooked? How's it actually presented? How was what they're talking about? Was it successfully presented to us?
Yeah. I'm
I'm feeling a lot of things. Yeah.
I'm feeling so much. It put me, like I said, like I mentioned before, I have had these conversations before. And it was so difficult to relive them, you know, like quote unquote. Yeah, it was just so real. And that is what I really loved about the film is that it was so raw. It is what it like they pinpointed what a toxic relationship looks like in many angles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's, you know,
It's
not all
It's
just
different,
one
but it's the same
person sometimes.
Mhm.
It is every participant in it.
Mm.
And then for it to just get switched like that
Yeah.
in the middle of it, and then it just becomes even better, and you're just like, what? And then Aubrey Plaza's fucking acting was phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it was tastefully done.
I think you're absolutely right about that.
Tastefully done.
So, what do you think is with the bear? Because we only see a bear twice. There's 2 moments where we see a bear.
So the first part of this movie ends with Aubrey Plaza knock off Jon Snow.
Yeah. Juan Nieve.
Nieve.
Juan Nieve.
Juan Nieve.
Juan Nieve.
They end up hooking up, and
Blair catches him.
Blair, who's pregnant and drunk,
Mm-hmm.
catches him. Yeah, and Jon Snow pushes her, and she is looking like she's either gonna have to have C-section to have the baby,
There's like blood
or
on her
is
hands.
losing
Oh no.
the baby.
And then they're like, Aubrey, get the fucking keys. Don't
Yeah.
look at me. Get the keys.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me. Get the keys. And she tries to drive him away in the red truck. And then
Oh, I didn't catch that.
and then there's a bear in the road. And swerves off and hits the tree. And then cut to black. And we hear the bear.
Yeah, because we've heard the bear before.
Mm-hmm.
Always looking at trash.
Yeah.
That's
Loves
all
trash.
it's doing. You know, like it's not trying to harm the humans in there.
No.
He just wants the food.
Yeah.
And if this is the second part of this person, if Allison's journey, the fact that the bear was not addressed in the beginning, you know,
Mm-hmm.
is what ended up having perhaps killing her.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it ends with it crashing and just black and we just hear the ding, ding,
Yeah, and
ding,
the bear
and growling.
roar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roar, roar.
Food?
Food? What
And
happened?
also that implies that they did not make it to the hospital. So
No, they all fucking died. No one was wearing their seatbelt, and
no.
all 3 people were drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty bleak ending for all of them.
They're also in the middle of nowhere. We get some beautiful cinematography shots that we didn't mention in the can, but lots of scenes of just desolate.
Mhm.
Absolutely isolation, void.
They even say we're in our own little world out here.
No one is around. They're drunk. They just crashed. Someone is losing a baby. She's already losing blood.
Yeah.
So their blood is thin and it is gushing out.
Yeah, they're done. They're done. And then the second part ends where all the roles are reversed. And instead, now the husband is getting with Blair, and Aubrey Plaza is discovering it in the same place that we see them in the first part. But then she turns around and she sees a bear right there, like standing right in front of her. And she kind of gives it a little smile. And then we cut to black.
Yeah.
And we hear the bear
just
growling again. How did you take that?
The reason why I was yelling, no, oh my God, no, is because I thought she was gonna jump towards. First of all, I thought that she was gonna open the door and allow the bear to come in there and claw the shit out of them. And then when that didn't happen and she give it a smile, I was like, oh, you're committing suicide. You are literally just gonna throw yourself onto this bear.
Interesting.
But
then we do see a scene after that.
But then we do see a scene of her in the beginning, just having her towel down in the scene that she made in the second part that we come into, and she has that single tear and she just has that little smirk on her face.
Is that real or was that the movie? Did that happen or was that the movie?
Don't know.
I know. That's what they got us.
I mean,
They got us.
This is when I believe that she just was seeking revenge.
That's what I took. I honestly had the thought of she opened the fucking door and just let the bear in there. Yummy. I love the taste of affairs.
Now, my other question is, are they actually filming in the same house? Did she actually go to the same place?
I would say no, just because they have this kind of bending of reality in the way of we have the same actors playing across both parts. I mean, Aubrey Plaza's character, I think, is the same person through both parts.
Right.
But then we have the actor that plays Gabe play Bear in the second part. We have the actress that plays Blair in the first part play the other girl in the second part. But I think
they were both Blair, right?
Was it Blair in the second?
I
You might be right.
No idea. Can't remember.
But I think that because we're watching this movie from Aubrey Plaza's perspective, there's this bending of reality that's going on in her mind because she's seeing people in other people. She's seeing the mirroring in situations and stuff like that. So I would say that probably extends to the setting too, where she's probably seeing this setting that she found on Craigslist or Facebook, and was like, "Oh, it's similar. It's perfect," and probably in her mind making the situations mirror each other even more. Yeah, because we're from her perspective. So
yes. All I know is that I cannot trust any of these characters.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I wouldn't want to be friends with them.
Yeah. Because all these possibilities are plausible, like she could have opened the door, let him in, mauled. She could have committed suicide. These parts could have all been mixed up in different ways because it all just ends in the same way where they're going to die. Like there's going to be some sort of death in this, death of a relationship or death of a person in some way. So these toxic relationships are all leading to the same point, no matter what.
No.
To the black bear.
Yeah. To the black bear.
Yeah. All right. So what about the thrill?
The thrill.
I thought the first part of this movie actually, like, the use of bass was intense.
Oh my! It was loud.
It like would hit you like out of nowhere
Yes.
and then go away really fast.
It
too.
would
Reverberate.
reverberate
Yes.
in your fucking chest.
Yeah.
It
was
got
intense. Yeah.
It got me. Every boom. I was like, oh my god.
And even in the second part when they were having like the party in the house, it was just like constant.
Out
just
of
boom,
nowhere.
boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. Insane.
They were not, gentle with their edits. They
No.
wanted to get you,
Mhm. Yes.
So, oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned in season 1.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Pause right now. Go watch all of it.
Go
Come
watch
back.
all of it. Binge the hell out of it.
Welcome back.
I think the human mind is what's really scary, and that's what terrifies me, and that's why I like this subgenre of psychological thrillers, is because when you are bending someone's reality, manipulating them, gaslighting them, keeping them in this fucking like bubble,
In a fog.
and you don't know what the hell is going on, that is so dangerous and so cruel. And yeah, that's what creeps me out. I don't know what to think.
Yeah. That's exactly what I wrote down too. That was the scariest part to me, was the fact that people can use your fears and your insecurities against you for their own gain, and sometimes just for a fucking movie. Like that was the thing that was just like, wait a second, like they're doing this, they're coming up with this fucking plan to like get her like on edge in reality just for a movie, for a shot. So I agree. That was like the scariest part, was how humans can manipulate each other and what that can do to someone. How did that affect Aubrey Plaza in the end? How did that affect Blair in the end? Led to the Black Bear, I guess.
They're all getting used. And the thing is, like, how I mentioned previously, is that these girls were getting, put against each other, and he gets to fuck both, like it really doesn't bother him.
He gets to film it too.
He gets to film it.
Film.
Yeah. And then he's getting all the like praise of like, oh wow, you're such a great filmmaker.
You captured the emotion.
Yeah, you're so great. And it's like, well, you weren't there to see all the manipulation that happened. And, like no one could really be there for either of these ladies.
Yeah.
They couldn't fully have their back, and they couldn't really fully, also walk away from, I mean, they can. They're grown ass people, and they could have done something and not, been afraid of their job, like losing their job, but at the same time, fuck.
I'm just hired to hold the boom.
Yeah.
That's just my job. That's all I'm going to do. And that was through the whole thing, really. Like, even in the first part, we had to watch this tension build between all these people to a head. So it was just like, it was almost like unrelenting, like uncomfortableness and gaslighting and manipulation. It was intense.
It was
intense.
I did not know what to think. Also, I don't know what to think.
Well, let's get to the overall ride then.
Yeah.
Which I'd say the ride of this movie was like a fucking roller coaster.
It keeps having you.
Whoa, what the
just
hell?
Keeps thinking.
Yeah.
It's a thinker.
And I think that, yes, within the two parts, you have these like ups and downs going on between the characters. And then for them to like switch it, that big switch in the middle,
Mhm.
I think is also just such a good job of keeping us on edge like you would in these kind of like toxic relationships, and it would like feel like it's up and down and changing day to day, and it was a smart move for
There's
sure.
a recent movie in which has the same exact switcheroo right in the middle, and that is Barbarian.
This is true. Sorry
Um,
for the spoiler on that one, but you should watch that movie too.
yeah, watch it.
That one
Hope we
also,
didn't spoil too much for you to not be able to enjoy it, but yeah,
that one caught me off guard.
that one caught me off guard where I became pissed.
What
I was pissed
the?
because you're just left in this like again void, and you're just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then completely felt like a different movie, and it's something really stylistically right now. I'm really liking it. It changes the styles in which we are filming and how stories are being told, especially these psychological films. I think it works best with psychological thrillers, because then it really leaves you in this kind of confusion and this fog.
Yeah.
And I find that to be absolutely fantastic.
Whoa. Black Bear.
Black Bear,
Wow.
dude.
Black Bear. Cool. 2020. Let's get to these Smash Pumpkin ratings.
Yeah.
We went through our criteria. I mean, what do you think? Out of 5 Smash Pumpkins, what are you going to give Black Bear?
I'm gonna give it a 5 fatto.
5 fatto.
5 fatto.
Wow. Smash Pumpkin.
5 schmackaroos. I'm probably gonna keep thinking about this. I'm gonna probably watch it again. And it's truly one of those films where you're gonna find things every time you fucking see this movie. And I mean, it's a difficult one to swallow too. So don't know if I want to watch more than 2 times, but like we mentioned, the cinematography, the styles of it change, like the filmmaking of it changing, the acting was phenomenal, the script was phenomenal. For it to be this complicated and make sense, I hope we make sense.
I hope so.
And if we don't, see the movie.
Yeah, just watch the movie. I mean,
and it will make sense.
sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Go watch this movie.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
But yes, so 5 fat ones.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be the first double fiver of the season because it was that fucking good. It really was.
Let's
It
go.
really was. Completely took me off guard.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't know what to expect coming into this movie. I like Aubrey Plaza as an actress. Besides that, didn't really know what to think. And good Lord, it really, really exceeded my expectations.
Oh yeah.
Just as a film, it's just like, yeah, it was tense and was a psychological thriller, but as a film, it was just so well done, well thought out. I definitely want to watch it again. I want to see those details. I want to see what else is red in there, and I want to look at those looks. Those looks. It can mean so many things.
Yeah,
So we could talk about each look for so long. It's a very rich film, very rich, very deep movie.
Okay, so you know what I thought this movie was going to be about?
What?
I literally thought it was going to be about a writer who comes into this Airbnb, and it was going to be like a slasher film. It was just going to be her kind of tormenting and playing until like she gets to kill them. Which, I mean, it wasn't too far off, but it wasn't this like epic, dramatic
that
ride.
First part when she was kind of like, you could tell she was toying with them and like definitely trying to get them pitted against each other. That's what I thought the movie was going to be. I thought, okay, now we're going on. When she was having sex with the husband that first time, I was thinking, okay, now she's going to go have sex with the wife. I was like, she's going to switch over there. She's going to seduce her and then pit them against each other. And then, no. No, we just from that moment it completely switched and just became something that was not at all what I expected and very creative. And yeah, no, it really I think did a great job of saying something and making a pretty movie and giving us a fun ride. Really,
Yeah.
the whole time.
Holy
It was
shit.
fun.
Yeah.
It was a really fun movie.
Black Bear.
Black motherfucker bear.
Black Bear.
Go see it.
Go see it.
Every movie that we review, please go see. By the way,
Yeah.
that's why we're reviewing these movies.
Exactly.
And talking about them because we think you should go see horror movies and just
Mhm.
movies more.
Just go see them.
Go see movies,
Yeah.
please.
Oh God.
Wow. All right. Well, should we see what we got for next week?
Ooh.
Let's see
yeah.
what we got. Wow. Do you want to pick the first one?
I pick it.
Yeah. Go
Oh,
deep in there.
boy. I'm gonna go deep.
Go deep. Going deep.
Going deep,
All
brother.
right. All right.
Alrighty.
Lord, what do we got?
A married couple grieving the recent. Wait, hold on.
Hold
Cut
on.
this.
Yeah.
Cut this. A married couple grieving the recent death of their young daughter are in Venice when they encounter two elderly sisters, one of whom is psychic and brings a warning from beyond.
Ooh, this sounds like a Dario Argento movie or something.
No.
Oh, okay.
A married couple grieving the recent death of their young daughter are in Venice.
In Venice. Interesting. What are we watching next week?
We are watching Don't Look Now,
Don't Look Now.
a 1973 movie.
Ooh, 70s.
Woo!
Don't
Those
Look
are
Now.
always so much fun.
They really are.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be. I'm glad we're stepping back again.
Yes.
Stepping back again. I'm liking how the season.
90s,
Mm-hmm.
2020, back to the 70s.
Back to the 70s. Let's get our first 70s horror
I'm
going.
excited.
Me too.
Don't
Cool.
Look Now. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Let's get out of here, huh?
Let's get out of here. You can follow me on Instagram, Color Me Leslie.
And me at Beep Richard T.
Burp, burp.
You can find us at the Deadlights Pod.
You definitely can.
Also, check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we are recording this at.
Here, right now.
But until next time.
Let's get spooky.
What did you say to her?
I'm gonna fuck you
I'm gonna-
and fuck her.